Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is me, Jason Gregory, European Sales Manager, coming at you with another Spotlight interview. And I am super excited to be interviewing this lady today. She came to conference and she absolutely tore the place apart with her experiences in a talk that she did. And so many people got inspired by it. I just thought I had to get her on to have an interview with her today. And so she's part of the Really Athletic team. So I'm going to invite Danielle to come on to our spotlight. So, hey Danielle, how you doing?
I'm really good. Lovely to see you, Jason.
It's great to see you again, Danielle. And it was amazing to see you in October and what you delivered at the conference. And I know that it was such a powerful talk that you gave. But I know there's some people that might not have been at that conference. So very quickly, could you just kind of share a little bit about your background and how you got involved with the Really Athletic program, please?
Okay, that's a massive question, but I'll try and condense the answer. So I'm an athlete. So I used to play netball for England, and I still play at a really high level now. And I'm a current rugby player for Jamaica. Um, I'm a motivational speaker because I talk about practicing what I preach. So I learned a lot of skill set from sport as a young girl, and I've actually utilized that to go into business and achieve all the things I do now in life, which is business consulting, supporting other people's businesses, talking in schools about the skill set you can learn in sport and how it really helps with everyday life. So I juggle quite a lot, and I absolutely love it, and I'm full of energy. How did Relive come about? So I obviously get loads of offers for different from different nutrition brands as an athlete, and I'm someone who would like to suggest that I'm someone who loves integrity. So when I choose to partner with someone on a sponsorship deal, I have to really believe in what I'm doing. And this may sound really cheesy, but it's actually the truth. Um, you guys have been really friendly, and the way I was approached was a very conversational, natural occurrence. So it was just a genuine conversation where I was intrigued about what Relive products were all about, and had a conversation with some of your co-workers. And I did a little bit of research myself, and I found a great case study on an American football team actually, and the benefits they were getting from your nutrition. Um, and yeah, as an athlete, there is so much we have to take, or there's so many recommendations for recovery and, to improve performance that it gets really difficult to squeeze it in into your daily life, and obviously all my food intake. But with some of your products, because there's so much in them, like so much goodness, it makes it a little bit easier for me. So I guess the rest is history. And that was when the conversation came to start utilizing your products, and me just naturally now expressing how excited I am about being part of your company and actually getting some great benefits from the products.
Wow. So were there any particular challenges or goals that you had that you're trying to overcome at the time when you started on Really?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm getting older. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So recovery takes me a lot longer than it used to. So it's really important now that I think about what I take as a pre-workout, how I replenish with electrolytes, and also getting a lot of supplements with regards to creatine and things like that into my system. So really, when I speak about nutrition, I have to look at the easiest way to stay hydrated, the easiest way to get my protein intake, and still not affect the fact that I have to work full time and that I've got training at certain times in the day. So that was more of my focus, which, like I said, when I look at some of your products, there's a lot more than your protein. Your Provantage, for example, is more than just protein for me. It actually contains creatine. I think there's antioxidants in there, in berry extract or something along those lines. I'm not a super technical when it comes to the ingredients. I just know what I was looking for. I've signed it off, and now I can feel the benefits of it.
Right. So in terms of obviously recovery, performance and stuff like that,
Mhm.
when you were consistently taking the products, how did that look like for you? What did that transformation look like for you?
Um, Energy. So, the first couple of months of taking it, I feel like I was just in a routine, and I carried on as normal, and I felt like, I came off my own old products, my old protein, my old electrolytes, moved into your stuff, and it just felt the same. And then I think I mentioned this to some of the people at the conference. It then got to a point where people started commenting to me. So, my coaches have noticed a difference in my performance. I felt like I'm super fit all of a sudden and I'm a lot more energetic. I've had so many compliments about my skin. So, I started to realize, well, the only thing I've actually changed, my training schedule is just as intense as it always has been. The only thing I actually have changed is my nutrition, the type of nutrition that I'm taking, and it's moving from my old products to yours. So for me, there's a direct correlation. Now I actually can't live without taking Energize, for example, because it has so many vitamins in it. So normally I've got this little package that I take around with me that has my vitamin C's in and all these other bits that I had to take. Like, you could shake me and hear how many tablets I'd have to take. But because there's so much in Energize alone, I actually take that daily now, just in my regular water intake, as well as before I actually train or go into a game, because of the fact that it's got the electrolytes. It replenishes me, helps me keep hydrated, but it gives me all the vitamin intake as well.
Right, right.
So that's kind of the difference. But yeah, the biggest thing for me has been an energy increase for sure.
Right,
And then just like I said, the ease. So the protein now, I just put it into my normal smoothies. It's really easy to mix. It doesn't really add a change to taste, so it's not. I don't dislike it.
mm,
I can still have the gorgeous fruit from my strawberries and all the banana and everything that's in there, and it just kind of seamlessly goes into what I'm doing normally. So yeah, but my coach in my last review has told me my performance has improved. And like I said, I'm getting older, which means I should be going down the
right.
scale, and actually I'm going up. So I'm blaming the nutrition.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, let's talk a little bit pro Vantage. I know you mentioned it already, but what does that look like daily? How do you take it kind of on a
Prevented.
yeah,
So I'm a nightmare for so I'm lactose intolerant.
right.
So I actually really struggle with protein because it really upsets my stomach. And so one of the things that excited me about your products is they're gluten free, they're soy, so actually they don't impact me in the same way. And it actually has settled my stomach a lot more
Mm,
because I have to have a quite high protein intake every day. I have a high target.
mm.
So like I said, I'm taking that and it's not affecting me in that sense. What was the question again?
So in terms of how do you actually take it done like on a
Oh,
daily?
how do I take it? So I'm rubbish with having breakfast. I'm lactose intolerant, so I don't like cereals because normally there's milk, and I don't really like the milk variations. And I don't like things like toast because I'd like to put chocolate spread on, and it goes against my nutrition plan. So I have a morning shake which consists of my protein powder, which is Provantage. I add banana and berries, and a bit of yogurt, lactose-free yogurt, and that will be my breakfast shake. And it makes it really easy because then I get a hit of protein, I get my creatine in there, and loads of vitamins along with all my fruit. And it's so easy to take. And it's great for my fast schedule. So 6 a.m., get up for my first workout in the morning, and I've got to get back and work after that. So
Right,
to have a really quick shake, it's perfect.
right,
And then I tend to have another shake later on in the day just to again up my protein intake. So I'll have a regular lunch, I'll have a protein shake in the middle as my snack with some nuts,
right.
and then I'll have my dinner later on, and it just makes sure I hit all of those goals I've got.
Right, okay. I know a lot of times when you talk about protein shakes to people, a lot of times they kind of relate it to, those whey protein shakes that big like meathead muscle guys are using to
Yeah.
build massive muscle. And they try to kind of, I don't know, gauge every protein shake like they're that. I mean, why is Provantis different from sort of like those types of protein shakes, in your opinion?
So those types of proteins are probably a higher protein content,
Mm,
because for me, they're more aimed at bodybuilders. So as an athlete, I have to take less of a scoop
mm,
because there is a really, really high protein intake in there. So I hit my protein goal quicker with it, but there isn't the other stuff in there.
yeah,
So I end up having to add, creatine. I have to get vitamins, and I have to put all of these things together, and it actually changes the taste, and
right.
it makes it something that I'm forced to take because I have to, as opposed to wanting to.
Mhm,
And again, I know it sounds really cheesy because everyone I speak to about Relive, I keep saying it's like I'm just having a fruity milkshake, in the morning, and I don't even notice that I've got the protein in there. Where the other ones, I'm drinking it as quick as I can. I'm putting as little water in so I can knock it as opposed to enjoy it.
right.
Whereas this time, I actually take it as a shake on the way to the gym. I'm drinking it on the way to the gym
Mhm,
because it's actually a pleasant thing to have.
right.
Um, And yeah, so it just really works for me as an athlete. I'm not a bodybuilder, so I don't need that massive high intake. I
Mhm.
need to take it regularly throughout the day and hit an intake goal each
Right.
day. And it's just honestly, it's really easy to get in with things that I enjoy like enjoy drinking, which
Okay.
is my fruit shakes, as opposed to the horrible ones that have got everything else in,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
Have,
mix of flavors.
have you seen any kind of in terms of like kind of muscle recovery after training and that kind of stuff? Have you noticed anything like that?
100%. So I was struggling with sluggishness. So because I'm lactose intolerant, the other supplements I were using, you can get soy, but they taste really bad. So I ignored that instead and thought it wouldn't hurt just to have the regular protein, which probably affects my lactose intolerance. So I actually was feeling really sluggish and having stomach issues, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I didn't realize the effect it was having on me. It was making me a lot tireder and recovery was becoming more difficult. So
Hmm.
that's the conversation I've had with my coach recently, just about the fact that I seem to be springing back and training harder, quicker throughout the week when we have to train. And therefore, my performance on the weekend, I'm getting a lot more benefits in the week from those training sessions going in. So
Right,
I think I think Provanted specifically is helping me more recovery wise. I'm not getting that sluggish kind of feeling that I was getting from having to take the other protein shakes that I've been doing.
right,
And I do think it's a difference. It does feel lighter, the formula that I'm taking with it, as in putting that in my shake instead of the other ones.
right,
So recovery for sure. My muscle. So I've actually lost weight as well. So I think because I feel more energetic and not so sluggish, I'm probably moving a little bit more. But at the same time, I seem to have lost body fat and I have gained more muscle. And my coach again was saying, I think that your training is more effective, and he think it is the knock on from recovery. And I'm just managing to hit my goals a lot easier because, I'm guilty of because I didn't enjoy my last supplements. If I could get away with not taking it and only doing the morning shake, for example, I would have.
right,
Whereas now, like I keep saying, it's so easy to get in there. It mixes really well, and I feel lighter for it. So yeah, once you start getting results, you get addicted to something in that sense. It's the same with my training. I never don't turn up to a training session, but some of them I really don't enjoy.
right,
But when you're feeling good and you're getting the results, you kind of go, I can't wait to get there again. And it's kind of the same thing. I'll
right.
take it now without avoiding it because I can see the results I'm getting, if
Uh,
that makes sense.
yeah, perfect sense, perfect sense. And there are some people watching that. Not everybody's going to be a professional athlete like you.
No.
Yeah, but I mean, do you think that it's just for professionals, or do you think that anybody could benefit from it?
I think anybody, if you do the research on so like I said, I'm not massively technical, but I actually had to research all of the ingredients in there because I have to get them signed off because we get drug tested and we have to make sure we haven't had performance enhancement supplements. So I had to get mine signed off, which it was, which shows how good the product is. But all the things that I was researching there's things like I know it's really good for my bone health, which you don't have to be an athlete to want your bone health to be good. My elderly father, we talk about it all the time. I take him on my 10K walks. And he's more conscious about his bone density and what's good and healthy for his bones. But again, I was telling him about Provantage, which I keep sneaking into his shakes that I've started him on. And yes, the advantages are things like healthy bone health, antioxidants, which are great for your health. Yeah, just protein in general. I have to have a high protein intake for recovery and for muscle growth. But people every day should have a certain amount of protein because it actually aids a healthy diet, which then will help with day-to-day stuff. So it's not just about being an athlete, it's about having good nutrition that's looking after your body because that's the one thing we've got right for the rest of our lives. So I actually don't think, and even your packaging and everything, I don't think it's aimed at athletes directly, as in hardcore, what I see on the shelves that's really pushed into my sector. And it's another thing that I love about it that I feel like I'm taking it because I want to take it and I can see the health benefits for myself as opposed to being pushed on me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I think it's one for all. I don't think it's something that is just for athletes. I just know that it's helping me as an athlete, and
Right.
that's the message I'm spreading.
Excellent. I mean, you radiate a lot of determination and positivity, and I know that you came to our conference. That you kind of, I think it was the first time you kind of were exposed to the
Yeah.
community as a whole. But what kind of positive mindset shifts have happened to you since the time, obviously you're positive anyway, but since the time you joined the whole Read of Athletic
Yeah.
program, has there been anything
Oh
mindset
my
shift
God.
like that?
Loads. So, as most people do, when you're going to something, you can do as much research as you can to see what it's going to be like. But I feel like it wasn't how I expected. I expected to go to a conference where I'd be educated on the product, which I thought I knew it all. And that was kind of it. And I'd meet more like-minded people. It was probably on another level, that times 10. So I felt like everyone was really friendly. So I obviously in my presentation for those that were there, I get very vulnerable and I talk about what really drives me and my story in my life, why I'm so competitive, why I have to achieve what I achieve, what my why is. And I always think that that's quite unique to me. But as I stood there throughout the presentation, you guys, as presenters, touched on so many things that resonated with me, so many things that align with what my values are in life. And the terminology was, for me, it related because it's very much to do with our mindset in sport. So it was lovely to hear all of that and be educated about things I'd touched the surface of. So, like I said, I do a lot of research on products I have to take. I have to do that. But obviously, being at the conference, I learned so much more about the product as well from you guys that are experts in my eyes. But the wonderful thing was like that community feel. So, everyone in the room, I don't think I got I mean, I know it sounds silly to think that you get negative, but every single person there, regardless of language barriers, came and approached me after my presentation, before the presentation, because they were so intrigued to get to know me, to talk to me about their experience with the product. And I think I said this as well. I felt like I walked into a room full of my family because everyone felt so familiar. And it was a wonderful thing because in this world where, there's so many people that are quick to criticize you, especially when you're successful and achieving things like I am, there's always those naysayers who want to pull you down a little bit or, highlight the things that you can't do. But I just didn't get that feeling. And, you know, I left the conference full of energy. Someone like me who's energetic, it's a crazy thing to say, but just, I felt unreal. I felt like I'm worthy. I felt like the group of people were there all for me when actually it wasn't just about me on that day. But that's the feeling that you guys gave me. It really felt like a community of great people. And like I said, it was just amazing to hear other people's stories. And the more stories I heard about other people's experience from using the products consistently, like I'm talking across 3 years, 6 years, because I'm new to it. This is my first year on it. Um, to hear the benefits, I started going, oh, hang on a minute. I've had that, so things such as skin complaints, I have eczema because which is a knock-on effect from the dairy intolerance I've got. And I was talking to somebody else, and I was like, my rash was exactly this. It sounds awful, was exactly the same as that. And you don't think about because it's no longer there. I just said, do you know what? It's only the last couple of months I've not even thought about it, and it's not come back. And when I'm stressed or whatever. And then the skin thing, loads of people have been telling me about my skin, but I didn't directly correlate it to the products. And I was like, because I'm not a girly girl, I don't do all the face and the makeup stuff. And actually, the only change has been supplements. So of course, it must be that. And it was actually amazing to hear because then I went away and started focusing more. Oh, maybe my skin has got better because of this. And so yeah, so I started to learn even more benefits. And then the best thing since I've left, the amount of people that have reached out to me on social media and just said the loveliest things. It was really humbling, actually. A lot of people have shared their personal story and said how much they can relate to me, and I've made some friendships, and probably lifelong friendships, just on WhatsApp conversations about how I made them feel, and then I said, "Well, you made me feel this way." And it's just again, some people are still messaging me like weekly, and they say, "Do you know what? I thought of you because of this, and this is how you make me feel," and it makes me smile every day. So yeah, the conference was to a degree life changing. I laugh because I know it sounds crazy, but it really was. It was so much better than I expected, not how I anticipated it to be. And I'm still reeling from all the messages to this day. I
Right.
had one only yesterday from a certain guy, gentleman, Pedro. Um, he just messages me out of the blue and says the most wonderful things. And I didn't know I needed those kind of motivational messages as such because I'm very motivated. But it's just such a beautiful thing to have from lovely people that didn't know me until the conference. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, you definitely touched a lot of people with what you shared at conference, and
Thank you.
a lot of lives were touched by. So, thank you for what you did,
Oh,
basically.
you're welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm delighted.
Now, I mean, what would you say for somebody who's maybe sitting on the fence? They've heard about Relive, maybe they need a change, whether it's their health, whether even it's in their financing, because obviously we have an opportunity attached to it, or both. I mean, what would you say to somebody who's kind of sitting on the fence at the moment?
Um, I'd say why? Like it's kind of a why not. If there is no negatives to something, which I mean I'm struggling to find any negatives, why wouldn't you try it and try and improve your health? I mean, try it. If it doesn't work, you've lost nothing.
Mm,
And that's for you as an individual. But obviously I learnt about the way well, I met a lot of your guys who actually have been in the business for years and years and have a massive base of customers who buy this regularly and obviously they what's the word? They are enjoying those relationships. So they're having the same relationships I had from just making the friends in the community, and these are their customers, and they're making life-changing thing. They're getting life-changing results even from taking the product. So, if that's the case, why wouldn't you try it? It doesn't make sense to me to not give something a go if you can hear so many positives and make your own decision. But I think you'd be stupid to not try something that can only do good, I
mm.
guess.
Danielle, I want to thank you. I really do because it's an amazing time just to sit down and chat with you, and you can tell just you just got natural enthusiasm, and your energy just radiates throughout the screen, and you obviously you're touching people with what you've done before you came to Relive, and now that you're part of the athletic program, I know that you're going to touch many, many, many more people in the future as well. So I just want to take the
Oh.
time to thank you for coming to conference and thank you for allowing me to interview you today.
Of course, anytime. I absolutely love it. And like I said, you guys bring so much joy to me. It's not just about the product, it's about the community for me. I'm loving meeting more people all the time. So please invite me to more things. I'll be there.
Will do. Thank you, Danielle.
You're welcome.
There you have it, guys. Danielle, she's doing an amazing job and she's impacting lives in many aspects of what she's doing. And so look out for her. If you're on social, check her out on Instagram. If you check her out on if you see her on Facebook, just check her out because she's doing some really, really good stuff. And I'm going to be back here in another 2 weeks with another spotlight interview, interviewing someone else who's doing some really, really good stuff within the business. And so listen out for that. And I will see you then. Have a great week, whatever you're doing. Stay really strong, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.